Hello nerds, this is the music section that has been taken from the main channel at Generally Nerdy here on the YouTubes, or you can go find it on Rumble or wherever else. This is the music section. It was taken from a much larger video that I like to call The Weekend Nerddom. That's available on the main channel. While you're here, don't forget to stick around afterwards because there's a lot of exclusive content on this channel that only exists here. So go check out some of that once you're done here. Either way, let's talk about the music news, shall we? Starting things off in music news, we have one follow-up to talk about, and this one is not a correction, it's a legitimate follow-up. This has to do with Corey Taylor and his feelings on the unreleased Slipknot side project album. The name of the album is Look Outside Your Window. We talked about this being possibly released come April, since their contract with Roadrunner Records is up in April, and this would be something that is well out of the wheelhouse for Slipknot. Well, Corey has recently said in an interview he honestly hopes that it never gets released, not because he doesn't believe in the material, not because of anything like that, but simply because he doesn't think that the material is going to live up to the hype. He also has made it very clear that this is very much Sean's baby, so Clown. It's very much his baby. It's very much his side project. He just came in and sang some stuff, and that was the only say he had in this record. So whether or not it gets released is not up to him, so which I guess is kind of great. I'm grateful for, because I'm very intrigued by this. Not so much so that as to when it comes out and when we hear the music, that I'm going to be disappointed because it doesn't sound anything like Slipknot, because it's not going to sound anything like Slipknot. So yeah, just an interesting follow-up on the current goings-on behind the scenes with the boys over in Slipknot, and specifically with that Look Outside Your Window project. Very intriguing, but let's get into new music, shall we? So starting things off, we have Devil Driver releasing some new music. I'm super stoked about this. The name of this song is Through the Depths. We have a new record coming out, the official Demons, Dealing with Demons Volume 2 is set to go on sale in May. I could not find a specific release date for it, but that's what you got. I really dig this song. So the last Dealing with My Demons record, Volume 1, was really good, but the Devil Driver I know and love is pretty dark and extra heavy, and that's what this song is, and that's what this whole record is supposed to be as well. So very excited to hear the rest of this record. If you're looking for some really dark and heavy, check this out for sure. Next is another one of the best metalcore bands out there, and that is Unearth has released another track from their upcoming The Wretched, The Ruinous. This one does have a proper date, and that is May 5th. This new song is called Mother Betrayal. Trevor Phipps, the vocalist for Unearth, never ceases to impress with these vocals, and his vocals, as they get older, just get more brutal. I just found out while doing research for this episode that Ken Suzy is no longer part of this band, which is a little disappointing because I really liked Ken's work, but Buzz is doing some good stuff on this track as well, so go check this one out absolutely if you are into the metalcore. So our next piece of new music comes with a little bit of controversy. That's because it is Sophie Lloyd. Now, Sophie Lloyd herself is not a controversial figure, but she plays guitar for Machine Gun Kelly, which is pretty controversial, which is kind of the thing that kind of piqued my interest with this. And then the other thing is Matthew K. Hafey, as he prefers to be called in the media these days, is doing vocals on this track. So that's pretty awesome. The name of the track is Fall of Man, again, featuring Matthew K. Hafey, and this is not great. I'm just not a big thrash guy, I guess, because this is very much thrash. This is very actually technically proficient thrash. She is a hell of a player. Matt has a hell of a voice. Just the combination doesn't really do much for me. Matt by himself doesn't, I'm kind of middle of the road with that. So when he's doing guest spots on somebody else's thrashy tune, just doesn't do a whole lot for me. Then we've got Veil of Maya's new track, Red Fur. The new album from them is coming May 12th. May is just going to be a huge month, I think, for music. The new album's name is Mother with the M in parentheses. So other with an M, whatever. Veil of Maya, I've heard some stuff from them in the past. They've never really blown me out of the water. Production on this is actually quite great. I just am not a big fan of the performance. Vocally, I feel like he doesn't really do any one particular thing super well, so he tries to like throw as much out there and see what sticks, and that just strikes me as not great. I can understand why people are into this band. I just am not one of those people. This track doesn't do much to change my mind either, so take with that what you will, I guess. Now we are getting a little bit out of our regular wheelhouse as far as these new music things go, and we're talking about Oliver Tree and David Guetta. They have a new track together called Here We Go Again, and Oliver Tree is great neo-pop. I really, really dig Oliver Tree. David Guetta is pretty standard techno, EDM kind of stuff, so the two of them together is still great pop. This is definitely a song that when I was in my more pop-oriented phase of music appreciation in my life, probably would have put on rotation regularly. This song, though, I think is a great example of why Oliver Tree is really a great pop presence. I think everyone should have some sort of appreciation for pop music because there's a lot to be learned from writing something so incredibly catchy. And this, again, very prime example of that. So definitely check out Here We Go Again from these two. That's all we got. And then we've got a boatload of tours to talk about, guys. So, all right, let's jump into this because I think it took a couple months longer. Usually this happens in February, so a month longer. Usually this happens in February every year. You get a whole bunch of tours get announced, and then like that's what the year is. Everything gets announced February, March into April, and then the rest of the tours, or the rest of the year is everybody touring. Starting in March apparently this year, though everybody's kind of already on tour, leftover remnants from the end of last year. But we have a bunch more. So we're going to start at the top. First is Between the Buried and Me have announced they're going out with support from Thank You Scientist, who I've never heard of, but they're getting billed over Rivers of Nihil, who is the other supporting act in this, and they're pretty big, so I don't know who this Thank You Scientist is, but very interesting they're getting billed over Rivers of Nihil. This trek starts June 16th in Charleston, South Carolina, runs through July 31st, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, though there's a lot of dates in between that. I know it starts on the southeast coast and ends on the southeast coast, but there's a lot of stuff in between, so don't be fooled. This is pre-sale tickets for this are going out March, so today. I don't have the link just yet, but I do have a link that will get you to the link if I can't find the proper pre-sale ticket link. But either way, 10 p.m. today as I'm filming, so yesterday as you're seeing this, hopefully there's still some pre-sale tickets left, otherwise you gotta wait for the regular sale, which happens on Friday. Next on the touring schedule, we have Falling in Reverse. The name of the tour is the popular Monstour. Get it? It's a pun. Support is from Ice Nine Kills, Underoath, Spiritbox, Slaughter to Prevail, Crown the Empire, and Catch Your Breath. Not all of those bands are support for all of the dates. There's different legs with different supporting acts. I believe Catch Your Breath is on the most supporting dates, and then everybody else is pretty much second bill. So Slaughter Prevail, Spiritbox, Crown the Empire, so on and so forth. So Ice Nine Kills, I think, is also on a great handful of these dates. So yeah, just kind of check the listings. There will be, again, a link in the description if you're interested in tickets. Tour starts June 26th, Charleston, West Virginia, runs through July 30th in Redding, California. The pre-sale on this one goes up March 9th at 10 p.m. So that as you're watching this, very likely, there is pre-sale. There is a link down in the description. Again, there isn't a current link right now as I'm sitting in front of this camera, but if I can get the link, I will include it. Otherwise, the link that exists down there is enough to get you to the pre-sale. You just got to click a couple more times. Next is actually a very interesting touring announcement, and that is Halo Effect. Halo Effect is completely made up of former band members from the band In Flames. They all were in Flames at one point, and now they all are in a band together. So very interesting. They are going out with, again, one of my favorites, Unearth. Super stoked about that. And High Command. The only thing about this is I think there's only like 6 dates running from May 20th in Hartford, Connecticut, all the way through May 28th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of dates on this one, but this is the first time that Halo Effect is coming to the States, so that in and of itself is also significant. You can find a link down in the description to get to the tickets. There was no pre-sale for this. The tickets are not on sale yet. There was no proper announcement for exactly when the tickets would go on sale, though I'd imagine it's very soon, so keep checking the link down below. We're going to move on. Our next tour that we're talking about is also quite huge, though neither of these main bands I'm very much into. That is Pierce the Veil and The Used are both going on a co-headlining tour. The name of the tour is Creative Control. It's a North American tour, very exclusively. Starts May 23rd in Austin, Texas, runs through July 2nd in Phoenix, Arizona. Pre-sale also went up, or is going up tonight after I'm done filming with this, so there will be a link, again, hopefully down in the description to help you guys out if you are interested in seeing The Used or Pierce the Veil. There is a number of opening bands as well, but honestly, those are kind of the biggest names that anybody's really going to care about on these bills, so that's why it's in the notes. And then our final tour that we're talking about for this episode is Megadeth has announced that they are going on a new world tour. This is not just North America, so it's going to be huge. The bands that they're going on tour with are Bullet for My Valentine, which is an interesting choice, and Oni, which is also an interesting choice. These guys are going on tour with Megadeth? Really? Megadeth? Okay. The tour starts April 20th in Everett, Washington, and runs through May 15th in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I believe this is just going to be the first leg of this world tour for Megadeth, and more dates will be announced in the not too distant future. But yeah, it is a world tour, technically speaking, even now, because they're going to 3 different countries. So there you go. That is what we have for tours. And there is no regular ass news for this episode in music, so let's just jump right into music suggestion, and it is Avatar this week. Avatar's new record, Dance Devil Dance, was released February 17th. Go listen to it. I honestly have yet to listen to it myself, aside from the first single that we talked about a couple episodes ago in the new music releases. And yeah, I'm very excited to hear the new stuff. I really liked Hunter Gatherer. There's no reason to expect that is not going to continue, especially considering that single that we already have. So yeah, super excited to go listen to Avatar's Dance Devil Dance. Once again, nerds, that was a short section that comes from a longer video on the main channel, Generally Nerdy, YouTube or Rumble. Take your pick. I'm on both. You can go find it there. You can go find all of the other news there as well, including the live episode. We do a live episode roughly once a week, every Friday evening. You can join the conversation live, or you can just leave comments here on this one or any of the other ones you find on the Clips channel. Thank you very much, nerds. We've got other news to discuss in other videos, but while we're getting out of here, don't forget that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.